Hey friend, what are you doing March 29th at around, let's say, 8 p.m.? If you are around, I would love to invite you to my free masterclass, 5 Steps to Living Your Dream Life, even if you don't know what that looks like or where to start. In the 1 hour that we're going to spend together, you're going to walk away confident, clear, with a game plan. And of course, you're going to have tons of fun because you're going to be hanging with me. So, anyways, hope to see you March 29th at 8 p.m. The link to register for this masterclass is in the episode description. And now, let's get into the chat. Hi there, and welcome to the Anita CHAT podcast. I'm your host, Anita Rombo, and this is the podcast for growth-oriented women to have authentic, real talk. Nothing is off the table here, but as an intuitive self-relationship coach, you'll find the content gravitates towards mindset, intentional action, spirituality, and all things wellness. So if you're ready to learn, laugh, show up, and glow up to be the best version of yourself, grab your favorite bevy, settle in, and we've got lots to chat about. Hello and welcome to another episode of Anita Chat. Today I am so excited to welcome a beauty-obsessed scientist, Dr. Erin Tjam, to the chat. Dr. Erin Tjam just recently co-authored a book that is doing amazing on the charts, and the book is entitled Skin Sobering: 99% of Products Age and Harm Your Skin. Learn what you truly need to be beautiful and makeup ready. So naturally, I was intrigued when I came across this title. I know that we are all about wellness on this podcast, or my listeners here tuning in are all about wellness. And I was just really curious. So Erin, welcome to the chat.
Hi, Anita. Thank you so much to allow me to speak to you in your podcast, your wellness podcast. I'm very happy to exchange information with you.
We're so excited to have you here. Why don't you start by telling us a little bit more about yourself?
Oh, I am, first of all, a mother of 6. I have 6 children, 5 boys and a girl. I was a trained speech language pathologist before I got my PhD in health studies and gerontology. So I worked as a speech pathologist for 8 years and then felt the need to grow more. So I got my PhD at University Waterloo and worked as a professor and director of research for 12 years and felt the need to grow and change again and got into business. So I had a co-venture with University Waterloo on a training business, which led to a different business. Um, when business was going well, I was freed up and I started reading a lot and came upon the book by Dr. Itsuki on skincare. And I am beyond everything else a girly girl, a beauty obsessed woman who at a very young age started kind of concerned about my skin, my style. So I've always used skincare products to look after my skin. But I'm 58 this year. So when I passed about 50, I started seeing things are just not working. Whatever that was kind of giving me an instant glow or a temporary smoothness, as soon as the product was off, I felt all the things that I wanted to correct and the things got worse. Like I got drier, my skin clogged more, I saw more fine lines, my color was just off. It was grayish, dullish. Nothing was working. And I think time proved that what I was doing wasn't right. So when I read Dr. Itsuki's book, it was translated in Chinese at that time. He's a bestseller in Asia. I was not believing. I was like, wait a minute. I am smart because I am a health scientist and I've listened to every advice that's given to me through the media, even through my cosmetic doctor, that skincare equals skincare products. So why is it that not using products or the other way around? Why is it that using products is actually aging my skin and harming my skin? So I dived right into his book, and after I understood the anatomy and physiology and the chemistry of products, as well as the overall promotion and advertisement power, it finally dawned on me what our skin needs is what our skin naturally wants, not what profit-driven promotion been telling us. So that's how I started Skin Sobering, the book.
Wow. I can't wait to go into this in greater detail, but already I'm seeing a lot of similarities between you and I. I think I was also a therapist in my past life. I was an occupational therapist. We actually reside in the same province.
I know.
Obviously, we're both mothers, and so we understand this phase of life. And both of us have also done a lot of reinventions and wanting to grow further, which means pushing the limits and going into different frontiers. So for me, for example, I'm a coach. I'm also writing a book, two actually, hopefully, and one of them will definitely be published this year. And here we are on this podcast. So happy to have you. I definitely think that there's a bringing together of minds here. And you raised a really good point. I think that we do often blindly commit to or ascribe to the things that we see in the media, the things that we read. Obviously, there is an opportunity for us to apply critical thinking and reasoning. But when it comes to skincare, I feel like I haven't. I mean, I go for clean products, but that's pretty much my level of critical thinking or intentionality when it comes to skin. So I'm interested to dive in deeper. Maybe we could start off by, could you tell us what are some of the biggest problems that come from using conventional beauty and skincare products?
Well, I think the biggest problem is our belief that we have been told since the 1940s by our grandmother, by our mother, by all sources, influencers, the most beautiful women in the world, including our own cosmetic doctors, that we shall use skincare products to improve our skin. And that message alone leads to all the other tangential problems of our skin. Products harm our skin. I hope we get into why and how, but products harm our skin in the exact way that we want to save our skin. So when you look at the actual skin problems that come from products, well, I will name all the ones that you and I and anyone have had concern about. Starts with dryness, starts with oiliness, and then clogs skin and leads to further dryness, then leads to fine line. If we don't have a way to stop using them and recuperate our skin, the fine lines become wrinkles, sagginess. So a whole list, you can name it, a whole list of skin beauty concerns, including skin diseases, comes from chemicals on our skin. And I hate to burst the bubble. Clean products are processed products. Natural organic products are products with some natural and botanical substances in them, probably 5%, but the rest are processed. How do you think they get into the bottle? How do you think the substance in the bottles won't spoil? They are additives, preservatives. So I think doing clean products feels good for our own conscience, but it is something that just costs us more and it leads to the same problem.
So why do you think so many people are convinced that skincare products are good for us?
Okay, let's start in the 40s. Have you heard of soap opera?
Of course.
Yeah, everybody has because it's still going on. Do you know how the name soap opera came about?
No, I don't.
Okay, so in the 40s, the biggest advertisers in the beauty industry at that time is Procter & Gamble, Palmolive, and Unilever. They all bought the 1 to 3 time slot and created a genre to make soaps. And soaps, as now we think about it as drama, women's drama shows. And the whole idea is to do advertisement while these shows are in between and do advertisements on soaps and cleansers, which then became beauty products. So soap opera is a genre created by beauty industry to sell soaps and cleansers to women. So 1940s is our grandmother's age. So from the starting of our grandmother's age, we've been told, we're not blind, we've just been bombarded. The grandmothers and the mothers have been told, moisturize, moisturize from outside. And then we have the beautiful stars, the Anistons, the Jolies, the Ellen DeGeneres, the, Gwyneth Paltrow. They all look beautiful because they began beautiful before they got into the industry. And they got paid big bucks to also talk about beauty coming from products. So why wouldn't we believe? And then the most significant one is that the second largest sales channel of all beauty products is doctors. Doctors are paid a lot of money to sell products. So now we're hearing it from the doctors too. Why wouldn't we? Why wouldn't we believe it? I think if we don't believe it, we haven't been living in the outside world. If you're one who doesn't believe that skincare products are good for you, you probably have blocked out most of the outside noises. And for us who are onto things, want to look for things, search for things, we will no doubt find out the first 10 pages. It's all about this product, it's that product, it should be green, it should be luxurious. So of course we believe in skincare products. Everything we've heard from comes from the product sellers.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, even if we don't watch the soap operas anymore, I know a lot of people are like onto Netflix and not necessarily watching cable TV, but the whole enmeshment or entrenchment of this belief has been passed down ancestrally, even from generation to generation. Not to mention that the people that we do, even if we don't subscribe to this media at all, the people that we tend to turn to as credible leaders, as experts, as trusted people in our healthcare journey, they're also on some level profiting from the recommendations that they're making. That really does put a different spin on things for sure.
This is the part I want to just bring in a bit of science, because now I'm sounding like I'm just talking about a belief. Believe me, it is not good. Okay, let's not believe me or the industry. Let's look at hard science. What is skin? Skin is an organ. We forget because all of our organs are inside our body. The skin is an organ. It is the largest organ of our body. That is a fact. Nobody can deny that. What kind of organ is our skin? It is an excretory organ or excretory organ. Excretory means to excrete, to pass out, to eliminate waste. Our skin's main function is to eliminate, poop out waste. So all the substances in our body that we don't want as a result of a byproduct of our metabolism comes out through sweat, through sebum, through oil. That's what our skin is meant for. Just like the excretory organ of the other parts, that our anus is to pass out feces, our urethra is to pass out urine. That's what nature designed. They are all excretory organs. So think about, if an excretory organ is designed to pass things out, can it digest? Can it be a digestive organ at the same time? Can your anus eat nutrients? Can your urethra drink up moisture? No, they're not meant to do that. Neither is the millions of holes on our face, on our skin, called pores. They are only to push things out. They're not to absorb. But what do all these advertisements and promotions and product sales tell us? Absorb nutrients, absorb vitamin C, retinol, ceramide, absorb. That's a mockery to nature. Our skin is not a digestive agent. It cannot be moisturized from outside. It can only retain the moisture that we give from inside. So if our skin is dry, there are two reasons. You're not giving it enough moisture or drink or fluid through your mouth. Second, your skin is leaky. Your skin has somehow been broken down and it's leaking moisture. And that is the second purpose of our skin, is a protective organ. This one we know, because without skin, if you're burned, your skin is burned, less than 20% of your body, you die. Because now things can get in. Our skin's secondary purpose is to prevent anything foreign from coming in, because it cannot let things come in. That is its major function. It's impermeable. So how do nutrients penetrate our skin? Well, it can only do so by breaking down the skin barrier, the moisture barrier, the protective barrier. Once these barriers are broken down, the skin is leaky for that period of time. Do we need to absorb through our skin? Yes, we do, on very critical issues. If our skin there's disease, if the ends justify the means. So medicated products are often used as an absorbing process to get through our skin so we can treat an illness. But that is a very time limited and very calculated treatment routine. You're to do it for 5 days, 10 days, and then you stop. It is not a daily fare. It's not to put it on day and night forever. And that's what we've been doing with skincare products. That's why it doesn't work.
Very interesting. So, your book talks about a skin sobering method. Can you explain a little bit more what that is?
Sure. Sobering, we all know what that term means. Sobering is to be without, to be rid of something you're dependent on or addicted to. And the reason why our skin looks good and feels good when the product's on, because we have become dependent on it. It has taken over our own metabolism. It has stripped our oil, including cleansing. It has stripped our oil, normal oil production. So we are overproducing to replenish what's been stripped off. It has covered up our pores, so we cannot actually eliminate stuff. So we try to push the waste from our body out and being clogged. That whole process is a dependency, almost like an addiction. So we need to get rid of these products and allow our skin to function and metabolize on its own all over again. That is skin sobering. So sober up from the product. So the best and simplest way to describe skin sobering is clean with warm water. And then don't bug it. Don't fuss with it. Let your own moisturizing agent come back. And when you take stuff off of your face, if you feel dry, Anita, and if you feel cold, or if you feel kind of irritated, it's a telltale sign. It's functioning more like a drug. If you take something away from your body and you react badly to it, you are dependent on it. And these are not nutrients that we're dependent on, because if it were nutrients, babies would never get these skin products. Or people living in the rural areas or non-industrialized countries who don't use these skin products, their skin would have died if this were true nutrients. No, these are not nutrients. The products are functioning and behaving more like drugs, giving you an instant effect while you are on the hit. And as soon as the hit is off, whatever you were feeling wrong comes back. So skin sobering means don't use products that your skin actually doesn't need. Your skin will become much more beautiful because it now can repair, it can regenerate. And I would love to tell you the second aspect of the science when you question how does the skin regenerate and renew?
I do want to ask that question. So why don't we go there? But I have another one that I want to ask too, which is how long does it take for one's skin to sober up?
Mm-hmm. Okay, for me, who's been dependent on products for, let me think, I started at 54. 54 minus 9. So at age 10, I started putting talcum powder on my skin to look white, because we Chinese want to look white. You Caucasians want to have a tan skin. We're just fighting against what we naturally are given. So for 40 some years of dependency on products, not, of course, not daily, because before I hit 40, I didn't have the money to buy products and use it every day. It took me about a month of not using anything. For someone like you who's much younger and you probably were not as dependent on skincare products, you will start seeing results in about 14 days. You start feeling results there. You start feeling, hey, I'm not feeling dry when I'm not putting on the moisturizer. Hey, I'm not looking dry when I'm not using moisturizer. And that's going to give you confidence to go on. And in about a month, that's how skin recycles. So the skin turnover rate is about a month. The top surface fall off, and from the bottom, the dermis, it starts coming up, and it takes about 28 days for the new cells to come up to the surface. So whatever damage has happened, it takes about a month for it to be replaced. So of course, if you're in your 60s and 70s and you have longer damage, it will take longer. But just know, it's like vegetables. Okay, I know vegetables are good. If I eat vegetables today, I'm not going to see a good health tomorrow. But if I just continue to eat vegetables for a month, I bet you can see good health. And if you continue for 4 years, you're going to see a transformation. And I've been skin sober for 4 years now. I have no problems with my skin. It is wonderful.
That's amazing. It reminds me of my mom's philosophy. So I'm Indian by background,
Okay.
and my mother is a very, like, the first time she got her hair done, the first time she got a manicure pedicure, she's never done any kind of like grooming, like waxing or anything like that. So the first time she did any of that stuff was for my wedding.
Mm,
But so she's also very simple in terms of her routines, and she's always said less is more when it comes to all of that.
mm.
And she's definitely a natural beauty, and she just uses water as well. So that's something that she's always done. So I think she's definitely gonna love your book because she's
Oh,
gonna see, I told you so.
thank you. And may I ask you, on your wedding, did she look radiant
Oh,
and
she looked beautiful.
uber gorgeous? And most people mistaken bombshell beauty versus quiet beauty. Your mom's probably a quiet beauty who has amazing base, amazing canvas. So when she decides to glam it up, because she has the healthy and good base, the glam up works like beauty, works like magic. But people like me, before I was skin sobering, I tried to make my skin look good by using chemicals. So my base has been awful. Even though I'm trying to put makeup on, I didn't have a good base. The makeup didn't do hardly anything. It just made me look okay. It made me look not sick. But now I'm still girly girl. I'm gonna still use makeup. But as I said to you today, I'm not using makeup this over the weekend. I had so many functions that really irritated my skin with makeup. I need to give it a rest. But when I do put makeup on, oh my goodness, it is a night and day difference because of the good canvas, the good base.
So on that note, if you decide to wear makeup, how do you take it off without?
So the choice of makeup is important. You're used to foundations that are liquid foundations. Liquid foundations, by nature, by design, is a oil base. Even though they say no oil, there is water non-soluble substance in the foundation. So if you put external stuff on your skin that is not water soluble, you gotta use not water soluble things to take it off, which is you got to use oil, oily things like a makeup remover or a cleanser. So they just add on the assault. So I recommend a product in my book. Maybe I will hold it as a secret and for people to find out in the book. I don't have any association with that product. There are three products that both Dr. Jigen and I have tried with thousands of people, plus on ourselves, that water can remove. And the result, the glow is actually really good. And the most important thing is, I often ask my friends, why do you need to use an oil-based makeup? They go, good coverage. And then I say, what are you covering? They go, oh, I got spots, I got color, I got, scars, I got a lot of problems. I said, yeah, those problems were contributed and exacerbated by the skincare products that you continue to put on. And after skin sobering for about 30 days, and for me, it took almost 6 months, I don't have any of those problems. So I no longer need a good coverage because my skin itself is nice and glowy and a good radiant color. So all I needed was a bit of smoothing, a bit of kind of blending of uh, the parts of my face. So you don't need oily liquid base or cream base foundation anymore. So when your skin base is good. So it is a vicious cycle and a virtuous cycle. When you get better, you don't need those products. Without those products, you don't need to use cleansers to wash off. Water alone can do it.
So can stopping the use of skincare products really help people whose skin is dry or prone to blemishes?
Oh, 100%. This is a question like, can stopping smoking can really help people who has congestion problems and coughing a lot? Absolutely, because the contributor of those problems you just mentioned came from the skincare products, which include cleanser. Let's not forget the gateway to skin dryness and skin blemishes. If we go back to remembering when did we first use products, probably the very angsty age of teenagehood, that when we saw our first zit. Zit is the natural product of hormonal changes. Babies get baby acne when they were just born. Babies got a hormonal kind of gush from mother, and after its birth, it's showing through as acne. But we don't do anything to these acne. The doctors are smart enough to say don't do anything to the baby's skin, just let it pass. So when they when the hormonal phase is past, the skin heals itself. Same as in teenagehood, you are going to get acne during your 2, 3 years of major fluctuation. But those acne, if you don't interrupt and don't disrupt, heals itself. However, no teenager is going to believe that. They're going to believe what they've heard through influencers. They're going to use proactive. They're going to use major scrubbing cleansers. The process of scrubbing cleansing is chemical residue on your face, and those chemicals sit in your pores. Your pores do not want chemicals in it, so they react. They repel. They repel through getting inflamed. They repel through more redness. They repel through pus forming. And that itself makes your acne worse. So you just started cleansing your face and got your acne worse. What do you want now? I want a cream to calm my acne down. So you go get an anti-inflammatory cream. The cream will calm it down because it has anti-inflammatory process. But continued use of it, it now becomes an irritant. So now your acne gets worse from using cleansers and the cream. Now your acne age lasts for 10 years, not 3 years. And you're in your 20s. You still have acne. What the heck? I'm done my puberty. Why am I still having acne? Look back. Have you used chemical products to tackle your acne? If you have, that's why your acne wouldn't go away, because the repair process, it's being halted. It cannot renew, cannot repair.
So we've talked about baby acne, we've talked about teenage years, and now let's talk about the kind of phase of life that we're in, the middle age
Mm-hmm.
life. So our hormones are also out of whack right now. Some of us
Mm-hmm.
are embarking on perimenopause or menopause. Things
Mm-hmm.
are happening. We're noticing wrinkles, we're noticing lines. Skin might also be sagging or starting to sag. Do you have any
Mm-hmm.
advice for any of those kinds of issues?
Mm-hmm. First of all, do the big things. The big things, if you do them, you don't need to worry about the 2% thing. The one big thing. You got to start protecting your skin from early on or from now on. Don't expose your face to the sun. UV is a big age contributor. It doesn't mean that you can't go outside. I wear a hat. I put a mask on. I receive UV through my arms. So, get rid of the windblown damage, the cold induced damage, the UV induced damage. Protect your skin. That's very important. Second, look at your lifestyle. If you smoke, you drink, you don't eat properly, lots of chemicals and processed food, that's no good. So these two are going to affect you way more than anything else you put on your skin or not put on your skin. The third one is stop getting your skin worse by the momentary visual illusion that you get through products. Remove the products. When you start removing products and allow your skin to naturally regenerate, you will experience less of the problems you're talking about. Because most people who are experiencing the problems you're talking about have been using products to try to resolve those problems. Get rid of the attacks. And I'm going to get into the second piece of science here, the exfoliation, the natural exfoliation that our skin does. What is exfoliation? Exfoliation is basically dead skin cells that are done. They're done protecting us, needing to come off. And skin that is fresh, that is not coated with things, dead skin will naturally fall off, like baby skin. They exfoliate, you won't even see it because it's not flakes, because the skin layers are so healthy. It just comes off like powder. We know that our house dust is primarily dead skin. We need to shed it. So when will exfoliation, natural exfoliation not happen? It's when our skin is gooed up, gummed up. When we put skincare products on our skin, it functions like glue. It prevents the layer from the outside to come off. And what does the natural flaking off do to our cycle of metabolism? The natural flaking off sends a signal to the deeper layer and says, one layer is dead, give me a new layer. That signal is so important, and it only happens when our skin naturally exfoliates. So one dead skin layer comes off, a new skin layer comes up. That is the renewal. So if you have a bit of scratch or scar, when the renewal and repair and regeneration happens naturally, your scar, whatever, will go away within 30 days. But we don't let that happen. We think products is helping us to exfoliate. Instead, now our skin cannot exfoliate on its own. It's storing there. It's staying there. Okay, we notice it. We notice it's getting thick, getting kind of dull because there's dead skin on it. Well, from what? From us not letting it come off. So now what do we do? Oh, I need to exfoliate. I need products to exfoliate. So people buy chemical products to chemically exfoliate, or worse, physical products, things with beads, with scrub, to physically exfoliate. Do you think our own method of exfoliation is going to be better than nature's design of when exactly that skin needs to come off, when we know when the skin is ready to be done with the job? We can never mimic nature. So our own chemical and physical exfoliation essentially hurts our skin, prevents natural exfoliation, and prevents new cells from being made. When we don't have new cells being made, our skin gets thin. Thin skin leads to fine lines. Thinner skin leads to wrinkles. Thinner skin leads to sagging, lots of collagen, lots of elastin. All these things are simply metabolism that our skin needs to produce. And if we want collagen and elastin, eat it. You can't get it from outside. You get it from through your mouth, and it will go where it needs to go. We can't even dictate where it needs to go. We can't say, go to my skin, don't go to my waistline. No, it goes where it goes. This is nature. So yes, we are becoming saggy, partly because we're aging, but mostly because the time of aging has allowed us to do a lot more harm in the amount of time than if we were younger. There's only, 10 years harm done or 20 years harm done. In me, 40 years of harm done. So I need to stop the harm. That's the most important thing. Stop the chemicals that you put on your excretory organ, which does not need chemicals from outside. And without that, which is skin sobering, doing skin sobering is going to prevent your aging. You could look like in your 30s for a much longer time than if you just keep attacking your skin with products.
Okay, so what are your thoughts on sunscreen? I know you said avoid sun if possible, but I mean, if
Yeah.
you can't, or if you, let's say you're vacationing down south and you're covered up as much as possible, but that UV is pretty strong, what would you recommend?
I would say sunscreen is the lesser of two evils. Sunscreen is a little bit less than direct sun on your face for more than 20 minutes. So if you really cannot avoid sun exposure on your face, then use sunscreen. Use sunscreen while you're out. It's important. But with kids, wear a long sleeve, wear a hat.
Hmm.
Really try to prevent the sun damage from using physical products. Use sunscreen, and then when you're done being exposed to the sun, take it off with water. You may need to use pure soap to remove sunscreen, but there are also types of sunscreen that water can remove. So sunscreen is not bad if you know its function and know its harm. But sunscreen is bad if you think fluorescent light requires sunscreen. And you're putting something way worse than fluorescent light. Some people 24/7 have sunscreen on them because they're so afraid of UV. Well, I'm sorry to tell them, you are creating more harm to your skin than having your skin being exposed to indirect light or indirect sunlight. Don't think of sunscreen as the savior of your skin. It has one function, but it also has harm that comes with it.
Another question that I have for you is, we're all very unique in our genetic makeup, in our needs, also in our skin and our skin issues. When I'm just thinking about how things have been marketed to us over the years, there have been different types. You could have oily type, you could have combination skin, you could have dry skin. And so, growing up, I think that there was always this like self-diagnosis of what type of skin are you, and then you need this type of product to deal with the skin. The skin sobering method, I'm assuming, then would just say you don't need any of those products, and all of those skin types can be treated the same way, which is just avoid products and let your skin naturally stabilize the way it's meant to. Would you
Hard to
agree?
believe, isn't it? Well, let me give you an analogy. Uh, the way we express, our skin expresses itself is very unique, very different. But the way our skin needs to be cared for is very same. For example, our lungs need fresh air. You and I are different. There's 7 billion people. Our lungs are very different in its expression. Some have lung problems, some don't, but our lung needs fresh air. You and I don't need very different things for our very different lungs. No, our liver needs the same thing. Our liver does not need attack from alcohol. You and I are the same. Whether we exhibit liver problems differently, what our liver needs, what our stomach needs, what our lungs need, what our kidney needs are the same thing. Now, why do our skin have all these different exhibitions and expressions? Because we are made quite differently, so we show problems differently. So if you were slightly oily and you decide, I need to severely strip the oil, and you now are using cleansing products to strip your skin off its oil, you're getting more oilier because your skin knows, wait a minute, somebody's taking away all my production. I'm going to overproduce. I'm going to overproduce. So now your skin becomes oily, not because you have big oil problems. It's because you have added a step to to fuss with it. When you have dry skin, it's the same thing. Oh, I need moisturize. I need to put stuff on. Now your skin is behaving. Whoa, there's all kinds of oil on my skin. I better not produce any oil because there's way too much oil. Okay, you're not producing any hydration yourself anymore. You get drier. So many of what you just said of skin problems are a direct result of products you have used. And what you said about skin type, combination, sensitive, dry, oily, they are made specifically to sell more products. Skin types are created to sell more types of products. When you look at a baby, this is when I bring back to baby. Are they that different? No, there'll be babies who are a little bit smellier because they're oil glands. They don't actually smell. A little bit oilier and a little bit sweatier. That's it. That's how different we are as humans. Our color will be very different, but the way our skin functions is very similar. We are made very different by destroying it in a way that our skin is now fighting. It is fighting in a way that it doesn't even know what to do. So we're getting a whole whack of weird stuff happening to our skin. And now we're told by advertisement, we are all unique. We're all different. We need to buy different products to suit our unique self. Yet these products are all mass produced. There are only a few of them. So are we really that different by using their unique product? No, we're using the same product with different names.
Very interesting. All right, Erin, I'm really enjoying this chat and we're going to be wrapping it up shortly. If there's one piece of advice that you could give to our listeners about their skin, or one kind of nugget that you want to leave us with, what would it be?
I believe that nature can do a better job than chemical products. Believe that wellness comes from within, not come from what you put on, whether it's your clothing or your skincare product. And understand that when you use something from outside, it's a facade. It gives you the what you want temporarily. If there's no cost and harm done to it, okay, wear your beautiful clothes. You are doing some harm in the environment, but this is not a show for that. But when you have things that are on you that make you feel good, look good temporarily, like cigarettes, like drugs, cocaine, I don't know, skincare products, it is not doing you good. And in my book, Skin Sobering, I give all the necessary science, the epidemiology, the data that's been proven by thousands of people and hundreds of scientists whose voice simply cannot be heard. Can you imagine us scientists beating the influencers? Can you imagine us beating, I don't know, Kim Kardashian? No way. We are never going to get the attention because we're just old scientists. But what we said, all right, what our message is for your health, for your beauty, not for our pocket. My book gives me $1 every book that's sold. I might as well sell skincare products if I want to make money. I need to sell the book so the information can be disseminated. So the scientists that have been working hard to give people better skin, their voices can be heard. So I would hope people would read my book. And if you don't have the money to buy it, send me a note. I'll send you a free copy. I just want the skin diseases, the skin problems and the skin beauty issues to go away through saving you money.
Thank you, Erin. I really, really appreciate this big, bold mission that you have. I couldn't agree more. On our show here, I talk a lot about spirituality, mindset, intentional action, and wellness. I'm really passionate about wellness. And this is where inner beauty is really outer beauty, right? And you are what you eat, you are what you consume, whether it be people, books, literature, and also products, right? So this is a really interesting take on that philosophy. And like I said, this is something that I have been born and raised with in my house through my mom and her, her indoctrination of the philosophy that you don't need all of these things. And it's really interesting because I do think, you say, can scientists keep up with the influencers? I think absolutely. I think there's some big influencers now that are reverting to this more natural way of living and are proponents of it. And it's definitely become much more mainstream. Even things like meditation, for example, right? I taught myself to meditate when I was 7 years old. And this is before YouTube videos existed. It was just something that was part of my ancestry and my traditions. And now it's such a mainstream thing. And there's apps and Calm and Headspace. And it's wonderful that we're creating this movement. But, as a 7-year-old, it was definitely not a cool thing to do. It was definitely not something that I shared with other people. In fact, if you knew this side of me, I was severely bullied as a child because of my skin color, because I looked very different. I had a really hard place trying to find where I belonged. So we have changed a lot in terms of our evolution as, as people. And we are, I think, gravitating towards more of the natural, right? Like eating organic foods and, the natural clean skincare regimes, or to your point, possibly avoiding skincare products altogether. So I think that there is a lot of hope and promise for your big mission to, share that truth that we don't need. Our bodies are perfectly capable. They're just the best machine that's ever been developed. They're
just protect it.
Yeah, we just have to work with it.
Yeah, and
right?
Adjust your lifestyle. A lot of guys who don't use products look great. They look good, but then they also age fast because they haven't done the protection and the adjustment of lifestyle. And they didn't do no products because they understand it's good for them. They were just lazy. So you mentioned food. So often that food value is wrongly attached to skin value. Eating good food, eating organic, clean food is great, but we don't want to put it on our skin. Organic lemon is awful for your eyes. Don't drop organic lemon juice into your eyes. Don't mix up food value with excretory organ value. We are not to digest anything. The skin cannot absorb anything. It will absorb if you force it to, but you are disrupting its natural being when you force it to absorb. Like pee on diaper, that gets absorbed into our skin, but no, our skin doesn't want that. So we want to prevent that.
Very interesting. I really enjoyed this chat today. It has definitely inspired me to think a little bit more differently about what I am putting on my skin and how I'm going to take care of my skin.
Don't put anything on your skin.
Exactly. There you go. But thank you so much for sharing this perspective, sharing the science, sharing this philosophy, and sharing your vision with us. Where can interested readers pick up your book?
The easiest place, Amazon, the big giant.
I'll be sure to link that in the episode
great,
description.
Thank you. Yeah, I think we still have the ebook as a special edition, but maybe when you are using broadcast, they may not be available. So there will be ebook, hardcover, paperback, and audiobook.
Thank you again, Erin. I really, truly enjoyed this chat. And for all those listening in, we'll see you next week. Bye for now. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of the Anita Chat podcast. If you haven't taken a minute to leave a review, I would absolutely love to hear from you. All you need to do is to search for the show, click your star rating, and type in a few words. Also, if there's a specific topic you'd like to see covered in this podcast, if you'd like me to be your coach, or if you want to just chat, feel free to send me an email or shoot me a message through my IG, which you'll find in the show notes. The show notes will also contain any links to the freebies that were referenced in this episode. Until next time, friends, it's been great chatting with you.